right, my name is Cavron Mortensen, November 7, Foxtrot, Lima, November. Tonight's training is crossband repeating for enhanced coverage. If you have the slides up, you can go to the next slide. In tonight's training, we'll be talking about understanding what crossband repeat is and its role in emergencies, learn how to set up a crossband repeater using common amateur radios, configuring frequencies and ensuring FCC compliance, and apply crossband repeat to church emergency scenarios. This skill can enhance communication range for church ERC teams. Next slide, please. What is crossband repeating? Definition: a technique where a radio receives on one band, for example VHF, and retransmits on another, for example UHF, to extend range. Use case: links handheld radios in a ward to a distant repeater during a disaster. For example, a mobile radio in a church parking lot relays messages from a handheld VHF radios to a UHF repeater 20 miles away. This can bridge gaps in rural or obstructed areas. Next slide, please. Why use crossband repeating in emergency? Extends communication range when repeaters are down or out of reach. Enables coordination across ward stakes during evacuations or disasters. In a scenario during a wildfire, crossband setup at a church connects isolated operators to a regional net. Can help ensure communication during power outages or evacuations. Mobile crossband repeaters can generally transmit at higher power than a handheld radio and can be strategically placed for better coverage. Next slide, please. Equipment needed. You need a dual band radio capable of crossband repeating. I need a power source, battery, or generator. You can reference the GoKit Power from May 2025 training. Antenna, dual band mobile antenna, or separate VHF, UHF antennas. Programming cable software. You can reference the CHIRP training August 2023 to help program your radio. And perhaps you already have equipment that's capable of crossband capability. Maybe you should check your equipment and see if it has that capability. Next slide, please. Setting up crossband repeat. Select some frequencies on the different bands. For example, on the VHF 146.520 megahertz, receive and set it up for UHF 446.000 megahertz on transmit. These are just examples. Program the radio for crossband mode. You might have to refer to your radio manual to set that up. Ensure proper antenna setup and power supply. Test the setup with low power transmission to avoid interference. A tip is to label the frequencies clearly so you know which ones you have pre-set up to do crossband repeat. There's a training on ERC radio programming in July 2025 that you can read. Next slide, please. FCC compliance and best practices. FCC rules: ID your station every 10 minutes and at the end of transmission, part 97.119. Avoid interference. Monitor frequencies before enabling crossband mode. Use minimum power needed to reduce signal overlap. And then secure the radio to prevent unauthorized access, or lock it out so you don't mess up any of the settings. It's important to stay legal in operation. Next slide, please. Practical scenario: an evacuation. Wildfire forces evacuation of an area. The local repeater is down and handheld radios can't reach the state command center 15 miles away. Solution: set up a crossband repeater in a vehicle at the church to link VHF handhelds to the UHF repeater. Roles: one operator manages the crossband radio, others test communication from remote locations. And next slide, that is the training for this evening. This is N7FLN. Happy to take any questions.
STF.
There might have been a double there. Come again.
E5 STF.
Go ahead, STF.
So on Wednesdays I'm on 3 nets, the ward net, the stake net, the regional, and then the training. Probably 99% of the time I'm on crossband repeat, simply for convenience. I've been on the net when I've been in the hot tub. I've been on the net when I've been in the shop. I've been on the net when, I'm somewhere on my 2.5 acres. So it allows me to be participating and supporting the organization without being tied down into my office. So really recommend it. Also, it makes it convenient for my wife and me, where we could be quite a far distance apart from each other, and using a crossband repeat in the middle of us greatly enhances our distance. Great training.
Yeah, thanks for that comment, STF. Yeah, it is handy. I'm at the base of the foothills, and it's hard to get into the repeater sometimes with my handheld, but if I set up crossband repeat, I can go down in the basement if I wanted to. So, yeah, thanks for those comments. Any other questions?
Comment.
Go ahead, Steve.
This is KC7IHV. There is one radio, and I don't remember for sure which one it was. I want to think it was the Yaesu 88, which will not automatically do the put out its call sign automatically, and so you need to be careful. Make sure that your radio is set up so that it will put out a call sign if it's unattended, and because an unattended crossband repeat is not looked upon very well. Just a comment there. Outside of that, awesome training.
Yeah, thank you for that comment. You want to stay legal, and yeah, you can lock down your crossband repeat with tones and such to make sure they aren't getting hit by someone else. But yeah, we want to make sure it's not unattended and accidentally transmitting. Any other questions?
Kilo Mike 4, Quebec Alpha Alpha.
Quebec Alpha Alpha, go ahead.
Yes, both technically and legally, if you had 3 valleys and 2 ridges, could you have somebody up with a crossband repeater on each ridge where the signal would come out of the first valley on UHF, cross over the valleys on VHF, the second ridge would pick it up on VHF and then retransmit it into the next valley on UHF?
There's a lot of scenarios. You could probably set it up like that. I know I've set mine up as a repeater, so I'm hitting my crossband repeat, which then links to another repeater, which then can drop down into a valley. I suppose you could daisy chain 2 crossband repeats. You'll get a lot of triggering, some delays triggering of all the repeaters, but I think it would...
Okay, thanks for that. Up at Chalice for the River of No Return running race, they typically put a crossband repeater up, and it's a little confusing the first time out, but it works well. Back to net control.
Thank you for that comment, Quebec Alpha Alpha. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, this is N7FLN, turning it back over to net control.